Hello students, let us start chapter number 11, thermal properties of matter. Thermal means heat. So how the matter changes, their property changes when the heat is supplied or removed from the matter. So that we are going to study in this chapter. Now students, we know that temperature is a measure of hotness or coldness of a body. So in this chapter we are going to study that when the heat is supplied or removed, what happens to the object or a matter. We know that when a metallic rod is heated, its length increases, and when it is cooled down, then what happens? Due to decrease in the temperature, its length decreases. Also, we know that when the heat is supplied to water, its temperature increases and then it gets converted to steam. So, when the heat is supplied or removed, even the state of matter changes. Now about temperature and heat. Temperature is a relative measure or indication of hotness or coldness of a body. Means how much the object is hot or how much the object is cold, that can be indicated with the help of temperature. That means we can measure the temperature and we can get the information about how hot or cold the object is. Students, we know that when a hot cup of water is kept in atmosphere, then it gets cooled down gradually. That means heat flows from that glass of water to the atmosphere. Also, we know that if a cold glass of water is kept in surrounding, then its temperature increases. It is because the heat flows from the atmosphere to the glass of water. So there is a transfer of heat between the surrounding and the object or a matter which is kept. So students, it is clear that heat is the form of energy which is transferred between the two systems or a system and the surrounding. But the necessary condition is that there should be a difference of temperature between the two systems or a system and the surrounding. Means, as I said earlier, that when a glass of water is kept in surrounding, that is, this is atmosphere, and this is a system which is a glass of water. So glass of water can be considered as a system and this atmosphere can be considered as a surrounding. So if there is a difference in the temperature, suppose the temperature of the water inside the glass, that is suppose T1, and suppose this temperature of the surrounding is T2, and if there is a difference of temperature, means if T1 is greater than T2, then what will happen? The heat will flow from the glass of water to atmosphere because its temperature is larger than that of the surrounding. Or if temperature T1 is less than T2, then what will happen in that case? The heat from the surrounding will enter to the glass of water, and gradually what will happen? The temperature of the water inside the glass will increase. So there will be a change in temperature when the heat transfer takes place between the systems. or a system and the surrounding. Now students, about measurement of temperature. We know that thermometers are used to measure the temperature. We know that in a thermometer generally mercury is used. Now there are digital thermometers are also in use, in which the digits are displayed, but still the common thermometers are liquid in glass thermometer, means in a glass capillary some liquid is used, and generally that liquids are either mercury or alcohol. Why only mercury or alcohol is used? It is because the change in the volume of mercury or alcohol with temperature is quite linear, means their volume changes with temperature easily. And so inside the capillary, suppose this is capillary, that mercury can rise or can fall easily when the temperature is changed, and that's why this mercury or the alcohol is used in a liquid glass thermometer. Now the common scale used for measuring the temperature is Fahrenheit scale and the Celsius scale. And so we have the thermometers related to Fahrenheit temperature and Celsius temperature. Students, we know that in Celsius temperature ice point is 0 degree and steam point is 100 degree Celsius. Steam point means when the water boils, at that time the temperature shown in Celsius thermometer is 100 degree Celsius, and when the water freezes to form the ice, the temperature shown by the Celsius thermometer is 0 degree. Now how these thermometers are calibrated? Suppose if I want to make a thermometer which measures the Celsius scale, so for that, suppose there is a thin capillary made up of glass and there is a small bulb at one end. Here suppose the mercury is filled. So first, if I put this thermometer in a beaker filled with ice, then at that time the level of the mercury will show some level. Some level is indicated by this mercury. So at that time I will mark that position or that height of the mercury as 0. Now suppose if I will put the same thermometer in a boiling water, in that case what will happen? The mercury inside the capillary will rise and it will attain some stable height in a boiling water. So that marking can be indicated as 100 degree. So in this way, for two different points, that is ice point and the boiling point, we can get two markings, that is 0 and 100, and then these two divisions are equally divided into 100 marks. So in this way a Celsius thermometer can be calibrated. Now in Fahrenheit temperature scale, ice point is 32 degree Fahrenheit and steam point is 212 degree Fahrenheit. So between the ice point and the steam point, there are total 180 equal divisions. In a Celsius scale, there are total 100 divisions between 0 to 100. But in Fahrenheit scale, it is 180 equal divisions between the ice point and the steam point. Fahrenheit scale is generally used to measure the temperature of a body. Now, students, you can see here this graph. Here, this line shows the temperature in Celsius, and this vertical line shows the temperature in Fahrenheit. Temperature in Celsius starts from 0 for ice point, but the same thing for Fahrenheit scale, it starts from 32 degree Fahrenheit. And the relation between this two temperature scale is linear. And so at 100 degrees Celsius in Celsius scale equals to 212 degree Fahrenheit in Fahrenheit scale. And here the difference of the division, that is number of division, is 100 in Celsius scale, and here the number of division in Fahrenheit scale is 180. Now students, if we want to convert the temperature from Celsius to Fahrenheit or from Fahrenheit to Celsius, then this relation is used. Tf minus 32 upon 180 is equal to Tc upon 100. So here this Tf is nothing but temperature in Fahrenheit scale, and this Tc is nothing but it is temperature in Celsius scale. Now about ideal gas equation and absolute temperature. Absolute temperature means the temperature in Kelvin scale. We know that the temperature can be measured in Celsius also, in Fahrenheit also, and in Kelvin also. And Kelvin scale temperature is known as absolute temperature. Now students, suppose if T is the temperature in Kelvin scale, and if this small t is the temperature in Celsius scale, then the relation between the temperature in Kelvin and the Celsius is T is equal to T plus 273.15. So with the help of this equation, we can convert the temperature from degree Celsius to Kelvin or from Kelvin to degree Celsius. Now, when the gas is held at a low density and low pressure, then it will behave as a ideal gas. And the pressure, volume and temperature is denoted as P, V and T for a gas which is at a low density, means it is a ideal gas. Now students, some relations are given here. Robert Boyle, he gave a relation which is known as Boyle's law. He said that pressure into volume remains constant. That is, at constant temperature, P into V is also constant. So this is nothing but it is a Boyle's law. Now, another French scientist, Jacques Charles, he gave a law known as Charles' law. According to this law, at constant pressure, that is, if the pressure is held constant, volume upon temperature also remains constant. Now students, volume upon temperature is constant, means we can say that V is proportional to T. V is directly proportional to T, means if temperature increases, then volume of a gas will also increase. So this is about Charles law. And for this Boyle's law, as PV is equal to constant, we can write this as P is proportional to 1 upon V. That means P and V are in inverse proportion with each other. That suggests that if volume increases, then pressure will decrease and vice versa. Now students, if we combine both the laws, that is Boyle's law and Charles law, then we will get this equation PV upon T is equal to constant. Combining Charles law and Boyle's law, we get PV by T as a constant. Now this PV by T, which is constant, that constant is nothing but it is mu into R, and this is known as an ideal gas equation. PV upon T is equal to mu R, or PV is equal to mu RT. To remember this relation, this format is quite helpful. PV is equal to mu RT. So this is an ideal gas equation obtained by combining Boyle's law and Charles law. Students, here this mu is a number of moles of a gas, and R is known as universal gas constant, and its value is 8.31 joule per mole per Kelvin. Now it was found that for an ideal gas, if the temperature is decreased, you can see here this line represents the temperature, and on this line this is 0 degrees Celsius, and this is line of pressure. So if temperature is decreased towards 0, then it was found that the pressure of a gas filled in a container will also decrease linearly. If the temperature is decreased, the pressure also decreases. Again, if temperature is still decreased beyond 0, that is if the temperature is made negative, still pressure goes on decreasing linearly. So suppose during the experiment, if the temperature of the gas is decreased up till 150 degrees Celsius, then it was found that the pressure also decreased linearly and reaches at this point. Now next, this dotted line represents that if still the temperature is decreased, actually the temperature is now not decreased, but as this straight line is obtained from previous observation, then we can imagine that if still the temperature is decreased, then what will happen? The pressure will still decrease, and this line will intersect the line of temperature at minus 273.15 degrees Celsius, at which the pressure will become 0. So students, practically suppose it is possible to decrease the temperature till this limit, that is nearly minus 150 degrees Celsius. Beyond this, if the temperature is not decreased, but we can imagine that as the straight line was obtained earlier, still if we decrease the temperature, then again that will be straight line only. From the graph that can be predicted. And so this extrapolated graph, this part is the extrapolated graph. This dotted line represents the extrapolating the graph without doing experiment. So that shows that at this much temperature, pressure of an ideal gas will become zero. Now students, it was found that if different gases are taken in a container, that means this same experiment, if we do the same experiment for different gases, then also it was found that the pressure of those gases which are used will become zero at this temperature only. Definitely for the graph for gas A, gas B and gas C with temperature is different. You can see for C it is this, for B it is this, for A it is this. But it was found that pressure becomes zero at this much temperature only, whatever the gas is taken. Irrespective of the gas which is taken in a container, it was found that the pressure of each and every gas at low density will become zero at this much temperature only, which is minus 273.15 degrees Celsius. Definitely their behavior is different. Different gas, there you can see that their slopes are different. But for all these gases at low density, their pressure becomes zero at this much temperature, which is known as absolute zero. Now remember students, this is the Kelvin scale at absolute zero. So this temperature at which the pressure of an ideal gas becomes zero is considered as 0 Kelvin temperature or absolute zero. So students, absolute zero is foundation of Kelvin temperature scale on the name of British scientist Lord Kelvin. Now here in this figure, three scales, Kelvin scale, Celsius scale and Fahrenheit scale are shown. Absolute zero temperature, that is 0 Kelvin temperature, is equal to minus 273.15 degree Celsius, and that is equal to minus 459.69 degree Fahrenheit. Now ice point, in Celsius scale it is 0 degree Celsius for ice point. Same for Kelvin temperature scale, it will be 273.15 Kelvin, and that for Fahrenheit scale it is 32 degree Fahrenheit. So this represents the ice point in different temperature scales. Similarly, boiling point, that is steam point, in Celsius scale it is 100 degree, in Fahrenheit scale it is 212 degree Fahrenheit, and that in Kelvin scale is 373.15 Kelvin. So here this figure shows the comparison of Kelvin, Celsius and Fahrenheit temperature scale. And as I shown earlier, if we want to convert temperature in Celsius to Kelvin or Kelvin to Celsius, then this relation is used. Here this capital T represents the temperature in Kelvin scale, and this Tc is temperature in Celsius scale. Same formula we have seen earlier also. You can see it is given here. So students, I hope you understood about the topics which we studied today.